Hi, my name's James. I'm a personal trainer and 4th Dan in Shotokan Karate and a self-defense instructor as well. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the practicality of certain kicks in a self-defense situation. So we're used to seeing in films particularly a lot of these fancy kicks being thrown around, jumping kicks, flips and that kind of thing, where they take out their opponents by kicking them in the head, that kind of situation. And okay, maybe kicking people in the head works, but realistically, are you able to throw these kind of kicks in a situation? That's a little bit different. Realistically, that's not going to happen. One, you're not likely to have the opportunity to do such a technique. Two, you're not going to have the accuracy, especially with the adrenaline pumping. And three, they're going to move. They're not going to just stand there and take it. So for a start, any air techniques, okay, just get rid of them straight away, okay? Now, you can possibly leave some jumping knees or sort of Superman knees or maybe a jumping thrust kick kind of thing front on, but realistically anything that's in the air, it's quite possible that, especially if they're bigger than you, as you connect with them you're going to bounce straight off of them, particularly if you're lighter. Now if you're in quite close and you could drive up into them, then that might be absolutely fine. But if you're trying to run up and do some sort of fancy kick, frankly it's not going to work, okay? If you're trying to do any spinning techniques as well, they're unlikely to work. So if you're going to try and turn and do a spinning technique and try and flick your leg around, it's not going to work, okay? There's not enough power in it, generally, and to be honest, it's too technical, okay? You're also turning your back away from your opponent. As soon as I get to here, they could be on top of me, they could be grabbing me, and it's not worth the risk. You want to keep your eyes on your opponent, okay? Now, I'm not saying that these techniques aren't any good in kumite or in a sport situation, but realistically on the street they will not work, okay? Not the majority of the time anyway, and if they are successful, then frankly I don't think they're going to be worth the risk. However, one of the biggest things though, and one of the biggest misconceptions I believe, is head kicks. Frankly, these will not work, okay? If you're trying to kick somebody at head height, and you're getting your leg right up there, you're off balance, okay? If your leg is up here, you have to lean back. So I'm kicking up here, my leg's firing right up, my weight's behind me. Even if I make contact with them, I can bounce back off of that because my weight is backwards. And let's say they step in towards me. As I'm attacking them, they could be attacking me. They might not be defensive. If they're moving back, great, okay? I might be able to get that opportunity to kick them. But are you that quick? They could see that kick coming in and go towards you. Then you're flying back and you're on the floor. And that's the last place you want to be. What you have to remember is that when you're on one leg, you are vulnerable. You want to get that foot back on the floor as soon as possible, okay? You want to snap that kick back. No matter what kick it is, you want to snap it back and bring it in. Okay, you're not going to do a thrust kick and then just land forward casually or land back casually. Okay, you want to drive it and snap it back. Drive it and drive yourself towards the floor. Okay, same situation. And if you go for the head, it takes even longer to get it down. And like I said, you're off balance. Now, if you really wanted to go for the ribs or something like that, then okay, fine. It's not going to do that much damage. Kicks are powerful. So you might be able to bust a rib or something along those lines, but really you want to be going for the knees. Anything above waist height is impractical, frankly. Okay, like I said, you might be able to kick to the body to push them back. Now I love thrust kicks, okay? Thrust kicks and a front snap kick are the two best kicks that I would go for in terms of self-defense, okay? Front snap kick, easily go for the groin, get them leaning over and then take them out with your fist, that kind of thing. Thrust kick, you can keep them at a distance, force them back, put all your body weight into it, nice and easy. You could even argue a side thrust kick might even do a similar job. Now, a roundhouse kick, frankly, isn't as practical, okay? Whether you're coming down leg height or whether you're going towards the body, it's not going to be as efficient as the snap kick or the thrust kick, okay? Like I said, snap kick, ideal for kicking the groin, thrust kick, pretty much everything else, okay? If you're going for the knees and you want to snap them, ideal, you're going to snap through the joint. But if you're facing somebody, you're going to try to do a roundhouse kick, you might just sort of tap their leg, maybe buckle it in, but it's not as likely as a thrust kick, okay? Instead, I'd be more tempted to get to the side and do a thrust kick to the side of the knee. Make sure it's actually broken. I might use it as an opening to try and get in and follow through if I'm trying to be quick. But like I said, I'd prefer to use the thrust kick instead, or try and get to the side and use it. And yes, there are situations where a roundhouse kick can be used. So if they're side on towards you, let's say they've thrown a punch and their legs twisted to the side, I would use a roundhouse kick maybe to buckle the back of their leg and then take them down. So I can do that roundhouse and then throw a punch over the top to force them down towards the floor. However, there's very few situations where I find that I would personally use a roundhouse kick. But don't even get me started on reverse roundhouse kick, because this, frankly, is ineffective for martial arts in terms of self-defense, okay? Whether you're trying to go for a headshot, like I've already said, you're too off of balance, that's not going to work. And if you're trying to go for the body, it's too difficult, it's too technical, okay? You can't put your body weight behind it, and it's not practical to use, okay? Now, if you're using it to train your snap back, perfect, great, okay, you can learn to tuck the heel in and drive it back quickly, fine. And in terms of a sport karate or sport MMA or anything like that, you know, that's fine, you can use these techniques. I haven't got anything against them, I personally still practice them. But for self-defense, ignore that. So as I've already mentioned, really the only kicks you're going to be using are going to be the front snap kick, which is just going to come straight up. Okay, so you're going to be aiming for the groin, okay? Don't go for head height, don't think about snapping somebody's chin up, because that's not going to happen, okay? They're not going to stand there and take it, okay? At least with this, you can change the direction really easily, okay? If they suddenly veer off to the side, I can twist, okay? Same with a front thrust kick when I'm driving in, okay? I can change direction really easily if I need to, okay? And you're thrusting with the heel, which is great, and you can lean into it so that you can put your body weight through into it. And it works well. Now, roundhouse kick, do practice it, but likelihood is you're not going to use it. However, those are the top 3 kicks that you should be using in self-defense. Anything other than that, frankly, kick-wise, isn't going to work. Knees are a completely different story, but kick-wise, aim for the knees, a little bit higher maybe, go for the waist with a thrust kick so they can absorb as much damage as possible, aim for the groin with the front snap kicks, but other than that, unless they're on the floor or on their knees, you don't want to be kicking towards the head or any higher. You know, take advantage if they're down, and if they're down, you know, you might use an axe kick, something along those lines. But realistically, these sorts of kicks will not work in a self-defense situation, especially if that opponent is switched on. What you have to consider is whether they move forwards, if they move back to the side, whether they can possibly grab you. If they have grabbed you, what can you do? And frankly, with these spinning techniques, with these head kicks, there's too many variables. Okay, what you have to consider is that in a fight, everything is unpredictable. You can simulate as much as you want the different situations, but you won't remember it. What you need is basic, simple techniques that work efficiently in a wide variety of situations. Now, this is just an introduction really as to what kicks you should be using and why you shouldn't be using any of these fancy flipping kicks and jump kicks and things like that. But I will be doing other videos on how you can use the kicks that I have mentioned in various martial arts and self-defense situations. For now, that's all for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel For more information on self-defense and martial arts, you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.